Today it is Wednesday. You all know what time it is. It's Shmoney Time Talks. Yes, Shmoney Time Talks. Hope all is well with everybody today. As you all know, Wednesday is always a great day after a Tuesday drought during your money time is always the best for me here in Hawaii. But starting out today, I must tell you guys that Lyft had went into to number one position today, guys, by 8 o'clock. Oh my lord. It was a great day. I just want to say it like that. People started to increasingly give higher tips when it comes to the drive share. So maybe during low seasons on the restaurants, like the DoorDashes and the Walmart Spark, even though Walmart Spark is still my number one. But I'm just saying that maybe the ride share y'all can probably test out a little bit because it definitely is improving. People are trying to get from point A to point B, you know. And honestly, I must say, it's definitely a great day. It was a great day. Hello, John Smith. How are you? Welcome into Life with Paulette. If you're just coming in, go ahead and hit that like button. I'll appreciate that. But yeah, guys, today during Money Talk, I just want to talk about maybe trying something a little bit different. So we're still in January, and because we're in January, we still got time to figure it all out, guys, especially if you are working on creating a little extra income and you don't want a second job. You just want something that you can be the boss of, right? So I would suggest you guys try out a driving app. You can fix it with parameters. Those driving apps, like probably a Lyft, or you can even do a Uber Drive. Either one of those works tremendously. Right now, I feel like that market is increasing. I'm feeling like that market right now have a lot of little leadway. Now, mind you, I'm in Hawaii, so it will take it don't take much for me to go from point A to point B, but compared to the mainland where you all can be going from one state to the next state, I really don't know how the market in driving is over there. Like I say, I am in a little small island and going from point A to point B. Hi, Sister Nicole, welcome in. Going from point A to point B here in Hawaii is like, you could close your eyes, you could blink, and you're already on the other side. So it's easier here for me doing any type of drive. Now, being a woman, for me, I prefer to do 1 to 2 drive, during the daytime where I can see. I like to I like to be in areas where during the daytime, not too dark, and then on the other side, you don't want to be too early in the morning as well. So for me, a great time to do any type of driving. For me, particularly, I prefer to start right around, that 6:30, 7 o'clock when, the sun is up and you can just move, you can maneuver and you can see where you're going, and you get a chance to see who you're driving from point A to point B, which individuals you want to be able to favor favorite and hit the 5 stars so you can get them again, and which one you're going to give 1 star that you will have to be matched with them again. That's the good part of the drive. But like I mentioned to you, I don't know how it works on the mainland, but I know on the island of Hawaii, from point A to point B is pretty, it's not far, and it's been working. So this morning, guys, I decided, I turned on 2 apps, and the one that sent me the first job and it looks good, that's the one that I take. Today, I took Lyft. Lyft offer me an offer that I could not resist. That one was my first big drive for the year, and that was a $54. And because of the bad traffic in the morning, everybody trying to get to work, I got a $11, nearly $12 increase on the time from point A to point B. And then get this, guys, the girl gave me a $28 tip. So a Lyft ride that I was like, just picking up somebody from point A for point B, I ended up making 90 something dollars, like 94 or $95 just on one ride. To say that, I just want you all to know you never know which app is going to come through to you. That's why it's good to be registered on all of the apps. And you guys need to be the test drive. Figure out which app you're going to do, test drive it. Okay. So for January, if you're just getting started, I would suggest you guys go sign up for Lyft. I don't normally deal with Uber. Uber just turned my spirit. So I don't mess with Uber, guys. But I could tell y'all when it comes to a Lyft, I would definitely go and do Lyft because I feel more personable. If I'm calling them because I have a situation, they have an easier access. It's not like an Uber where you're calling and it's like 2 million different portals for you to get from point A to point B. So me and Lyft, I've lost all of my brain cells when it comes to dealing with not Lyft, with Uber Eats and Uber Drive. I don't even turn them on. We're done. We broke up, got divorced, and I never went back. Okay. I just stayed forward with all the other apps that I was working with. Now, when it comes to Lyft, it's not for everybody. Some folks don't have an issue carrying 1 to 2 people in the back of their cars. Some people do. Some people, like for me, it took me a long time for me to trust somebody in the back of me on this side where I can have a conversation. I felt like, you know what? This person, it seems okay. But some of the rides that you do get, I remember, I'm going to tell you all one story. I remember me getting a Lyft ride for the first time, and it was downtown. They always try to take you downtown. And I don't like downtown. I like to stay in my area because I'm aware of, my area. And it's more easier for you to maneuver because when you receive a ride, you can go from point A to point B. And you're like, okay, I like that one, right? This one looks safe. But when they pull you out of your comfort zone and take you all the way across the other side of the island, they ended up sending me a Lyft ride. It was this guy. I guess he was part of whatever, gang, whatever. And he's telling me it was a situation that I would not. Whew, that was a bad one. That was one of my first Lyft ride. I'm picking this dude up from downtown. It's busy, traffic and everything, and he tells me, something. I'm just gonna go drop off at the park. Downtown is, a lot of people around. So if I had to like bust a move, meaning drive away or run over, not run over nobody, Lord forgive. But I'm just saying, if you get yourself in a position, you want to be able to set yourself up. Don't ever go front on in anything. Whenever you get in an area, you always make sure that you set yourself back up in case you got to take off. Just little street smart situation. So I go there, drop the park off. I'm looking at the dude. They tell us not to judge, but you're going to start looking from head to toe. Like, okay, you look like you're part of something. And he was like, the person owe me some money. And he's like, yeah, and I'm going to go collect. And I was like, oh my gosh, red flag. Because if he go to the park, guess what? I'm going to be the eyewitness there at this park. And if they get into any scuffles and something go down, Paulette, I would be like, I can't see. I don't know what he's talking about. Anyway, I didn't want to be a part of that. So we go in and he's like, I'll be right back. You don't leave me now. I'm like, man, if I got to drive in this area, I'm already scared because he already knows me. And they already handed him to me. So he goes into the park, right? A big old park. I parked and I pulled around so I could face the road. And I say, sir, if you're not back here within the next 5 minutes, I will leave you. So make sure that you're aware of that. He said, no, you don't leave me, man. No, don't leave me. He start, doing his little thing. And I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to take this person ever again. Long story short, he went in, came back. His hands looked like they got into whatever they got into because the person probably didn't have his money. And he said to me, he said he didn't have my money. And I looked back when he was coming in the door. I know you probably say, oh my God, Paulette, you so crazy. Why did you stay there? Well, I didn't know any better at the time. I'm telling you all these stories because I want you all to not do what Paulette did at the beginning of her drive, okay? So I stood there, and I looked back and his hands was all like, all cut up from where he punched somebody. And he's like, it's going to be okay. Okay. He said, don't be scared. Don't be scared. Everything is going to be okay. He said, just drop me off there. Man, I was like this close to pull off. And he's like, you were serious. You were going to leave, right? I said, yes, I was going to leave, but I was trying not to say too much stuff because at this point, I'm like, I'm going to give you a big 0 or a 1 because I ain't gonna take you back again. So my scenarios with situations when they move you from your location when you're driving, and not to get you all scared. I don't want you all to be scared. I just want you all to know to be more clever. Okay. When they pull you from your location into a different location on Lyft or any drive, make sure that you guys are aware. Don't be going into things that you can't back up. If you get to a location, make sure that you know how to do that 2 point turn and set yourself up just in case you got to take off. You could take off. You may get whatever at depending on what's going down, but don't put yourself in situations, guys. Like, I did that. It was scary. And I just said 0 stars for him. They said, why? I said, I was scared. I told him I felt uncomfortable, and I sent a report. And the good thing with Lyft is that once you do not match with that customer again, they won't send them to you. You don't have to worry about. Another scenario I had that was not so much as a scare as a girl driving was me going to they pick up I picked up a homeless. I have nothing wrong with homeless people, but this lady, she had a little order, and every time they will send her to me. And I'm like, that was my first beginning. I was like, why is it that I'm getting this person all the time? So I called customer service. I'm like, listen, I don't have any issues. I'm not judging anybody, but is there a reason why I always get that person? And they told me, they were like, oh, because that person favorited you and you favorited them, meaning I give her a 5 star. Well, on Lyft, if you don't respond, they automatically give the person a 5 star. So I kept picking up this same lady. And the last time that I picked her up, which was 5 times in a row, and the fifth time, I said, the camel's back. I called customer service. I said, please, how do I unassign myself from being her favorite? And then they were like, all you have to do is give her a 1 star, and then it automatically will unassign you. And I unassigned her. God forbid. I was sorry. I didn't want to judge or anything. I was like, maybe they won't give her to me, or maybe she may not like my ride. But everybody that come in my car, they enjoy it. Okay, they enjoy. They have fun. I make them feel like they're the best thing next to sliced bread. You always make people feel important. You never judge somebody because they may house something that they may not house something. Always treat everybody equal. And that's one thing when it comes to Lyft, because people can read you straight through you. They can see, are you legit or are you just pretending, And that's one thing with the Lyft rides. When people come in the back of your car, I had a lawyer this morning, and he gets in the back of my car, and nobody knows who you are either. Everybody's just an assumption, right? So he's talking to me, and I'm talking to him, and came to find out, we all had worked in similarities, even though he was a lawyer. But I had family members that's lawyers. I have friends of friends that they're lawyers, and we just start communicating, and you just start to meet at a common place that you can share information. And he was like, oh my gosh, it's so great having conversations with you. And I was like, oh, I can talk in my sleep. Like, this is what I do. This is the part that I enjoy. But the whole thing is if you guys is not scared of individuals, you don't have to do 5 and 10 and do a 12 hours of Lyft rides. I would not recommend that. But if you don't mind trying out, starting out 1 to 2 every other day until you feel comfortable with it, you'll never know. You meet really good people. You meet really genuine people that, business owners. You meet restaurant owner. You meet people with a lot of different variety of backgrounds, and the conversations, it's just normal conversation. And sometimes you end up picking up that person more than one time, and come to find out, somebody else around in your circle may know that person, and that's how connections and stuff start. So, it's I enjoying it so far. At first I was scared of Lyft, I'm not gonna lie. I was very scared of Lyft because I couldn't handle nobody in the back of my, you know, I'm driving and somebody in the back. I was like, and then on YouTube or whatever, the news, you hear all these crazy things about people, coming in, and people just doing crazy stuff, and in the back of the seat, they're pulling guns and stuff on you, just scary stuff. But that's one in a million. You still be you still got to be cautious, still be careful of individuals. Don't trust everybody. But at the end of the day, guys, let me tell y'all, it is what it is. You could be sitting at home and fall out, you know. So I want to be outside. I want to enjoying God's nature outside. And I must tell you guys that in this January, even the other apps has dried up or slowed down a little bit because not everybody is tipping big. Lyft is doing a great job. The tips are still high, and people still want to get from point A to point B, regardless of all the market right now is slowed down when it comes to food deliveries. Trust me, when it comes to the driving and people from point A from point B, I think that market don't ever get saturated because every day somebody wants to go from point A to point B for their jobs, for appointments, for whatever's going on in their life. They may not want to drive that day. They may be going to some meetings or traveling. That market will always sustain itself. And that's the good part. Okay. So go ahead and register for Lyft and try it. Do one, do two. And then when you start seeing and in understanding your market, you may want to do a little bit more. Okay, so go ahead and try it out. I don't know if anybody has tried it before, but if you haven't tried Lyft or you haven't tried any type of the driving apps, I will let you all know that in this January the tips are high and they are paying. Okay, they are paying. Restaurants market has gone in a little drought because, you know, everybody is tired of eating. Everybody's on diet now. Oh, maybe the salad place will be high. But right now, a lot of people are not doing all that takeout. People are in their New Year's resolution for their weight loss and trying to get their stuff together, you know. So make sure that you guys are figuring out ways how you can create. And figure out which, if you do have all the registrations and stuff with the in the gig economy, go ahead and turn them on and just try it, and then let me know what you think. Okay, let's see what's up in here, guys. I'm so sorry, I'm driving. This is another Conversations on the Go, and we are talking a little about Shmoney talk, and I wanted you all to know the experience that I had in regards to Lyft. You're gonna have good, you're gonna have some little nasty, sour, and you're gonna have some a little ugly, but you know, at the end of the day, you're gonna always have the right attitude. With everything we go through, make sure that you're focusing and you have the right attitude towards it, and it should not bother you. One thing I realized that the devil be busy, okay? And he wants you to have that fear or have that anxiety moments in your life. Don't give him any room. Don't rent him any space in your life, okay? You just say, shut up, devil, back up. Okay, just back up and leave me alone, or you just call him out because he do not like to be called out. That's one thing. Alrighty. Hello, hello. Hi, MP 238. Oh, you got your name again. How are you, brother? Hope all is well. Welcome in. Happy New Year's to you guys. Oh, by the way, Happy New Year's to all of you all that you know that's just coming in here. Happy New Year's to you guys. Yes, Sister Nicole, tell them hit the like button. Hey, Patrick T. Patrick, it's been a minute. How you been for this New Year? Hope all is well with you, brother. You know, it's this New Year. Everybody's coming back slowly but surely. I mean, I'm telling you, it's something else. This New Year, hopefully, everybody is making their New Year's resolution is focused on getting from point A to point B. And if you don't have a routine, if you don't have a schedule, I will advise you guys to just go ahead, sit down for one day. It only take one day for you to get it all together. Only one day, you know, make yourself a schedule, put it on the schedule. And we only have 24 hours of the day, and we're not going to get any more. Okay. It's only 24. So figure it out. You may have to get up a little bit earlier. You may have to go to bed a little bit earlier just so that you can adjust your sail. You understand me? You know what I'm talking? I say sail, you know, because the wind is going to keep blowing, but you got to get your rudder right. Okay. So adjust your sail in order to focus, and you can include and captivate all the extra things that needs to be done for that day. So I will just say to you guys, go ahead, adjust your sail, reset your schedules, because 2026 is here and we are pushing forward. Ain't no going back into 2025 to figure it out. You want to be able to figure out how to move forward with whatever you got. So if you didn't have, you know, extra rocks back then. Don't pick any up into and bring them into 2026. Leave all the rocks behind. Nobody want to be carrying no extra load. Leave the rocks behind. We don't want any extra load. And one thing I must say, since we're talking at the beginning of the year, because I know it just falls by the wayside as we start to go into February and March, and people be forgetting. Try not to overload people with too much negativity. If you and you see how that went, and you see how that went, just when I was telling you guys, I apologize for that. I don't know what happened, guys. The devil be busy. He didn't want me to tell you all about the three C's. The devil be busy. He didn't want me to tell you all about the three C's. This year, as I was mentioning in 2026, all make sure that you're doing less criticizing. Okay, nobody want to hear it. Criticizing, condemning, and complaining. It's January. We can adjust the way that we think, like Minister Mars said. Change your mind. Change the mindset. Change your vocabulary. Change the way you speak. Change, guys. Let's do this. Change our conversations. Okay? If every time, if last year, every 2 seconds that you open your mouth, you're spewing something, loading up people's cart with negativity, then you need to adjust your sale this year. We're at the beginning. It's the 7th of January. It's still time. Let's do less criticizing, condemning, and complaining to one another. Okay. I know it's hard. It's not easy. We all live in this flesh. But if we could just work on it from January, then maybe when December comes this year, we can see how well we improve ourselves and in others too, because not, I mean, for respect, we will probably, most of us will probably listen. But if you check yourself and say, okay, you spew 1 to 2 times on any conversation a little negative, try to put adulterate it with some positive the next conversation. Don't let it all be negative, guys. Figure out other ways that we could uplift each other. You don't know how much rocks the other person already have within their cart, and hearing you throwing rocks is not an easy task for them either. And sometimes we dragging it along, but I don't ever want to throw too much rocks on anybody or ask their permission. I always be like, can I dump some rocks on you today? I always call my sister and she will be like, I'll be like, Michelle, today I have a little heavy rocks. Is it okay if I go ahead and dump some on you? And she tells me straight, no, not today. Not today. She said, find somebody else. Find somebody else. So sometimes we ain't ready for it. Find somebody else. And it shouldn't be offensive for you if I tell you, not today. I can't take a message right now. Find somebody else with that negativity. So resetting your mindset, changing the way that we we associate and being around individuals, make sure that we're working on not criticizing, condemning, and complaining, and replace